Everyone was obsessed from the start about how awkward it was going to be for me to have to talk about Curtis. You know, what happens if we came face to face and I had to interview him? But unfortunately for everyone, we get on quite well. So he said in his pre-Villa interviews, "Oh no, I'm really looking forward to seeing Amy when she interviews me for the podcast." He was my easiest interview, because I know him so well. I know how hard I could push him, I know how hard I can wind him up, and also I think everyone wants us to not like each other. So the fact that we do get on really well, it then is just so easy. I will say, when I did the Instagram and TikTok live, I was quite nervous before because I'd be like, oh yeah, that's fine. Instagram, TikTok live, I can do that, don't worry. And then it sort of hit me, and I didn't realize we were going to have 700,000 people watching. So even the thought of like 100,000 people watching it, I was quite nervous, and I was like, I was going to have someone in my ear, but not very often. And I was like, wow, this is 45 minutes, and I'm basically on my own with a camera, and I've got to make this work. So I was quite nervous. And I got out of the car outside the villa, and I was a little bit shaky. All the finalists were having their photos taken, and Curtis came over and gave me a massive hug, and he was like, "I'm so excited for you to do this. You're going to absolutely smash it. You're born to do this." So the fact that people were saying that I shouldn't be doing the podcast because I shouldn't be commenting on him and stuff, like, we don't have the problem. Everyone else has the problem. So I think Curtis and Ekin are an amazing couple together. Obviously, I know him really well. I'd never met Ekin before. And when I met her, she was so lovely. And I saw them, like, because I interviewed them for the podcast after the show had finished. So I saw them, like, with no cameras around. And they are a really amazing couple. So I think they will better. When you're in the villa, it's like, on the last night, it's a massive party. So if you get to the final, it's a massive party. And, you get to sort of see how it all works. So I'm like, it's all very exciting. It's like that sort of rite of passage that only, 8 people get, or 10 in All Stars. So because I was out there doing the podcast, I was like, oh my God, once I finish the podcast, I'm going to get to go to the after party. It's the first one ever, and I'm so excited. So I was like, did he like to change dress? And then I asked someone about it, and they were like, oh, there isn't one anymore. I mean, I finished recording my podcast at like 3 a.m. and everyone wanted to get up to exploring in the mornings. So must get go to bed.